Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 3 of the new season, season 2 of our Neil Robertson pro career on Snooker 19. And today we take on DOTT, the Scot, in the third round, the last 32 of the Paul Hunter Classic. Now we've played the first 2 rounds off camera and we had quite a scare against Rory McLeod actually. We seem to have played so many times in the last 64, it's so odd that we draw him so often. And we were 2-0 down to him, so it took a real performance to bring it back to 3-2. Rory McLeod played well in those first 2 frames. I think he got a ton in the first frame. And I was thinking, Christ, we could be out here. I can't remember who we played in the first round, but I'm sure we beat them 3-0. But we are playing against DOTT today in the third round of the Paul Hunter Classic. When we played DOTT previously last season, we played him in the last 32 of the Oppo International Championships and in the last 32 of the Betway UK Championship. And on both occasions, we beat him by a score of 3 frames to 0. So something similar today would be absolutely fantastic. So just a little bit of an apology before we get into this about there not being an upload on Monday. If you saw my channel update that was up yesterday, you'll probably understand why. But I have been so inundated over the weekend with things to do, and basically there just wasn't enough time to record an episode for Monday. But I did say on Saturday's video that there would be a new schedule for Snooker. And what we're doing is having Snooker on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Saturday at 6 PM. So 3 Snooker videos a week for you folks, and plenty of content to come. But just a quick look at the rankings before we start, because I was looking at this yesterday and I thought, well, unless we win a lot of tournaments this year, it's going to be really tricky to break into that top 5. Ultimately, we're $500,000 in terms of prize money off 5th Mark Allen, and Ronnie O'Sullivan very close to being 5th in the rankings, which is absolutely crazy. And if John Higgins won a few big tournaments, then Ronnie could be 6th, etc, etc. But if you look at, I mean, the top 6 are far and away above anybody else. I mean, Mark Selby's far and away above anybody else in his own right. But if you look at us, if we start to slip a little bit more and the players below us start winning tournaments, then you've got the likes of Jack Lazowski, Ding, Kyron Wilson and Barry Hawkins who could conceivably be above us. I hope that's not the case. But if we're a bit more positive about things, if we start to win tournaments, hopefully we'll move up that tree a little bit. But of course, prize money comes off after 2 years, very complicated, and I'm not really sure how much prize money is going to come off each player. We'll just have to see as and when and take each match as it comes. But I think what needs to be highlighted is we need to start winning events this year, or else we might start slipping down the rankings, and that's not going to be the best thing for us in this series. But we are playing against DOTT, last 32. We won the last 32, of course, in the Riga Masters before being drawn against Yan Bingtao, which was frustrating to say the least, because Yan Bingtao is a player who's now beat us, I think, 6 times, is it? Or was it? No, I think it's the 5th appearance against him last episode, and we got beat by him by 3 frames to 1, which is always a little bit annoying. Sorry, 3 frames to 2. But hopefully you have a good performance today against DOTT. As I said, we've played well against him in the past, and hopefully that continues today. And it's ourselves to break off. Now I haven't played this game for a few days. I don't tend to do preparation before recording. Maybe I should, particularly for big games. But that looks an okay break. A little bit on the hard side, depends where it pitches up. It's a little bit of a shame about it hitting the yellow. If it had stayed there and the yellow would have stayed in its spot, it would have been perfect. But there's no opportunity for a pot, so all that DOTT can do here is play a saved, which is absolutely fine. Same for us, I think, really. Here, that red is hanging out a bit, but no opportunity for a pot on it. So we can just hit it very soft. And my door's just opened. How bizarre. Must be ghosts in the vicinity. Strike this fairly thin. Luckily we don't hit the other red. I was thinking, oh god, we could have hit that for a minute. That's fine, that'll do. Snooker's him on the red that's a little bit further away from the pack, so force him to play into the pack, albeit that he's just going to play this thin. But there will be 1 or 2 reds that might slip out, a little bit like this one, and that's a chance. That is a chance for an early pot. Get out of there as well. Got to get the pot though first, which we do. Great pot. Oh, it's getting a little bit close to that pocket. Wow, they got away with that a little bit. Goodness me. So, you have to try something a little bit different here. Play with some side. And pot the blue and just try and get in the pack. That's why I'm playing with so much side here. But the problem is when you start playing with side, as you can visibly see, as you increase the power, the shot just goes everywhere. So we don't need to play with so much side, actually. But we need to just get this right. Really, we only want to tap the reds. We don't want to whack them, just in case this goes wrong. So let's play with not too much side. We clearly don't need that much. I think that'll do. The blue's not being played too hard, and at least it does get into the reds. But we've got to pot this blue first, and that's a little bit hard, and that's the problem.
Not quite close enough.
That is the problem. We're playing with side, but we might have got away with it. But unfortunately, that red, the one red, has escaped. It was the one I think down the table, I think, by the pocket. So that's been hit, and that gives Graham Dott a chance. It's a real shame, but we went for it there. It was a risk and reward shot. Albeit it looks like it wouldn't have opened up the reds too much, but oh well. But ultimately, that's the end of the break already, unless he can come out with some fantastic 15-ball plans or something ridiculous like that. But it seems a bit of a silly one, really, to take that red on and then the black and then not get anything else out of it. That seems a real... well, it just seems a waste of time to me. That's what we'll do. We'll play up to the red. Well, we can just play past the red, actually, can't we? Yeah, nice and thin. There are a lot of cagey frames like this. It's tricky. You just can't get into it sometimes, and that's what happens. Not every frame is a far and away swoop. That's close to the pocket. That's really close. Well, that's disappointing. That's a shocker from Graham Dott. He's just gone in off, and we're going to force him to continue here. There's no opportunity that we can take. He might well get us into a snooker here, but that's the risk you take with this. We're hoping he plays a bad safety. And that's fairly close to the corner pocket. You know, he's playing with fire a little bit here. Hit his fin. It's not going to be until one of us makes quite a big mistake, I would say, that anything becomes open. And that could be that mistake. 6 points as well for hitting an illegal ball. And that's a chance now for Graham Dott. There's one ball that hangs out. I think he can get to it anyway. Oh, now we're being forced to retake, so obviously the chance mightn't be that good then. Right, let's make sure we get this right this time. Yeah, we do hit it. Oh, go on, go on. Yes, stay there, that's lovely. That's just about ideal. See how he gets out of this. Gets away with it to some extent. Doesn't leave a massive amount on. Does leave a potting opportunity for us to start a little break here. But he doesn't open up the reds. But to be fair, Graham Dott's better than that. He's not silly. That's a good pot. Will that start the break? Trouble is the reds are very much caged in, and all these colours aren't the easiest to pot. I mean, the yellows probably our easiest bet here. And to use a catchphrase I've used many times, it's better than a smack in the bottom.
Well, that's not ideal.
No, it's not ideal, I agree. But I think we've got a chance. Have a look. No, that one doesn't go. Oh, well, no, it doesn't go. So we have to really play thin on this one, which I don't really fancy. Or just get out of there. Which is very awkward. It's probably a bit quick. Hit that brown, get away with it though. So after a few pots again, this frame just hasn't got started so far. Just very jittery. Remember, 6 of the points, of course, of Graham Dott was from that foul, but he's opened up the reds a little bit here. And even though he's tried to get it behind the bulk colours, there is a chance on this red, which I'm going to have a look at. And it's there. Doesn't open up too much though here. Have to have a look at our options. Luckily we can get to the yellow. It's very much a saving grace. Yellow's potted. Let's have a look what the options are down here now. That's a good shot. Yep, that lines up a red nicely. We got away with that because I didn't really intend to play it. It was just a shot right. We'll just play with a bit of luck if we can. Attempt to get the luck. And then I think here we might as well just follow through and try and get into the reds. But we've got to be careful that we do pot this red first.
That's a pretty careless.
Well,
He should have potted that. Neil Robertson, 3.
I had my doubts about that. I don't know how he didn't go in, to be honest.
1.
But we were too greedy. And through greed, we have given Graham DOTT a real chance now. Before, we gave him a limited chance to get a few pots. But now Graham's got a chance to get the first frame. Not that that's a problem, because we can fight back, but a little bit poor there from us. As always, if it had come off for us, we'd have probably won the frame from there. It's just the way it goes. But Graham DOTT might make a mistake here.
14.
Okay, his lucky stars is on a colour there.
18.
Still plenty of reds to go. There's still plenty of opportunities for us to muck up the frame. I'm going to open the window. It's really hot in here today. I think the warm weather's over, but goodness me, it's still hot here in the UK. And also, for you guys who didn't watch the update video, thank you very much for 1,000 subscribers. It's quite an unbelievable achievement, one that I've been waiting for a long time, and now that it's here, I can't quite believe it. But if you haven't watched the update video, I recommend you do, certainly if you're a long-time viewer of the channel. But there is that new schedule, as I said. So if you're just a snooker watcher, you already know the snooker schedule. But there might be a few things you're interested in. I won't tell you all about them here. You can go over to the channel and have a look at the channel update for that.
34.
It's a little bit loose on position, but luckily he's got that one hanging over the middle pocket.
35.
Still 5 reds to go, so this is still very much open, especially if he misses that blue, but he doesn't. Oh, he got away with that.
Brilliant.
Didn't think that was going to make it, but just hit off the jaw. And it made it, luckily. If he'd have hit both jaws, that'd have been suicide, but he gets away with it. I'd guess he'd play the one to the bottom pocket and then position himself for the black. Yeah. A little bit hard, though. He gets away with it.
Decent position to take on a colour here.
41.
What's this position like? Good position. He's no mug, Graham DOTT. Really isn't. He's a lot better than the 3-0s who beat him
49.
in the past.
He just wants this to drop.
I think he's going to give us a little bit more of a competition than he has in the past here.
52. So,
Hopefully we won't be in the same position as where we were against Rory McLeod, 2-0 down, but that is going to make it 1-0 down.
That's an excellent pot.
A little bit tight on the black, but the AI seems to deal with these fine. I don't particularly like them, but
60.
if the AI don't mind them, then fair enough. Those little cutbacks on the blacks. Still on for a century here. Needs brown or more to stay on that. 66.
60.
So yeah, there's 35 remaining. Yeah, that's right. That's my maths. It's fine. So, needs to pop this red. Pink or black.
67.
He's not. He's going for the blue. That's interesting.
72.
Might not know he's on the century because all he can get now is 99.
74.
Which is a bit of a shame, really. All that hard work just to fall short.
77.
And who knows, there might not be a plethora of centuries in the whole series, so he might get the high break for getting a ton, but he hasn't took that opportunity on. He'll get 92 at least. This will be for a 99 break. As I said, if he'd have took the pink or the black on earlier, it would have been a ton. But despite the fact he hasn't got a ton, that's a very good break of 99 from Graham DOTT. And in this third round of the Portland Classic, Graham DOTT takes the lead.
He's got a one-frame advantage now, and we'll be looking to build on that lead by taking this next frame. Thank you. The second frame, Graham DOTT to break.
I know we have to take this frame by frame, but ultimately now we have to look to win the next two. Next two frames. That's an opportunity from the start. And as I said, we'll take that.
This isn't easy.
Not many repercussions if it hadn't gone in, but it did. And that, just by a bit of luck, is falling quite nicely for the black, actually.
1.
And that's there for the black.
He'll be fuming about that.
Although, yeah, not the best shot in terms of position. That's the way it is, though. We'll start with 8 points there. It's 1 red gone. It's 8 points that Graham DOTT can't get. That's the way I look at it. As I said, sometimes it's not all about century breaks, but that is a pretty good shot.
He'll be pleased with that. It looks safe. Neil Robertson, 8.
Just a thin shot from Graham. That's a very good shot, actually. Might have got the snooker here.
That's the result he was after.
Now, this is a very tricky shot.
He'll be looking at the easiest.
Right, this has got to go right here. Oh, it's gone back into the reds. That's a shame.
He's played that very well.
But apparently it doesn't open anything up. Luckiest fig shot we've ever played, and goodness me, I think Graham Dott's really opened up the table now. Oh, that's not quite a potting opportunity, is it? Its attempt, it really is. Just can't get to it because of the other red, that's annoying, but this one will go. Got to make sure it does. Or else it could be suicidal with the
It goes.
way the reds are, but I'm pretty confident, so let's go for it. And it's there. But are we going to get snookered? There's so many reds that we could get snookered on, but luckily we're okay. No access to the black or the pink, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that. Blue's going to be a little bit awkward, but that being said, I think if we take the blue, it puts us in a much better position for building a break. So just in line with that, I am going to take the blue on. Make sure it's not too hard, and that we pot the cue ball.
Well, no surprises.
Fairly confident with that, though. Yeah, that line looks good if as long as it's got the legs. Good pot. So that gives us an opportunity, which is great.
Great technique.
This is a bit of a tricky shot, but we've got to... We have to really pull this one off down with us. Actually, there's this one, isn't there? Of course there is. If it'll go. Yeah, it will. Okay, so there's that. That's a much easier pot than that awkward cutback.
Well, he's looking at potting this into the right corner pocket.
That's a good pot. Moves the black, which isn't the worst thing in the world, considering how packed the reds are. We are going to have to use one of these bulk colours. Looks like we were forced to use the yellow. Which, as I said, just happens sometimes.
This won't be easy.
Good pot.
Absolutely outstanding pot.
Excellent.
That'll tap the red. That's not too bad. That opens up another red.
9.
A lot of this is ultimately about luck break building. Especially in these situations.
He's left that a little bit more tricky than he would have liked.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but I'm not too fussed. Take the brown on. Now we can screw back a little bit from there. Get fairly close to the cushion, that's no problem. Actually, we can't get a screw back because of the angle there, but this should be good. It's on the opposite cushion to what I thought it would be, but clearly we played it a lot more powerfully than I anticipated originally. So it's going to have to be that cutback shot, although this isn't as hard as the previous one. Based on what happened earlier, we're not going to play it as hard as the other one, but it's there. But are we snookered this time? I don't think we are. I think we can get past this red. Can even get the blue from there, which is great.
We know what a prolific long potter he is, so I'd assume he'd take this on.
It's a good blue. We like those.
Another great long pot.
And now we're a little bit in control because of that blue. Can play a little bit more screw back. That's what I like to play. Don't like to trust top too much.
21.
And yeah, I like this style of playing. I've screw back a fair bit though. Just to get on a red. And the one fairly close to the pink spot. I'll point it out in a minute, but that's absolutely fine. Yeah, this one here. On a bike of 26. Not all over yet in this frame.
Potting this into the right corner pocket.
But every ball counts.
Tremendous pot.
Oof, we got away with that a little bit.
Full of confidence at the moment.
27.
Could take the pink on. But ultimate position's a little bit awkward from there, I would say. So we'll take the blue on again. So we're screwing back a little bit more again.
This won't be easy.
Funnily enough, this tournament's a
Fabulous pot.
non-ranked tournament this year in the
Happy with that.
World Snooker Championship.
32.
Very odd situation. I think it was 16 people who were invited. Well, it's not exactly the best roster. Barry Hawkins won. That's a fair winner. Good player.
Nicely onto
But,
the cover.
yeah, given that it's named after Paul Hunter, I don't really think that's a good ploy. In my opinion, anyway. That stinks a little bit.
Very nicely
Ooh.
done.
No, we're okay. Thought we could have run into a bit of a problem there. Have to take this red by red. Can't just go opening everything up. But not the most money in this tournament. Again, the first few tournaments of the season, just gearing up for those big tournaments. That sort of December period, December and January period, when you've got the Scottish Open, UK's, the Masters.
And in it goes.
A lot of big tournaments, Champion of Champions, of course.
Wonderful pot.
There's a huge amount of short tournaments, and we'll get there, I think, anyway, off the base of the Scottish Open, or any other tournament we win between now and
Nice position on the black.
between now and then, which is yeah. But I don't know, actually. I don't know how that works, because the Scottish Open, bear in mind, comes before the Champion of Champions, so there will be a new winner of the Scottish Open, if you like.
Well, that's left him a little awkward there.
I don't know, it's awkward. How's that awkward? Am I missing something? Breaker 53, though. Graham Dott's not had a single pot so far.
In it goes.
And based off the crowd's reaction, I think that's enough to get the frame.
His opponent to win the frame now.
54.
Might as well take the black on here. Maximum points.
He's taking this on.
Oh, we've missed it. Wow. That was a little bit opportunistic. Ultimately, those 7 points now go from Graham Dott, but you can still have a go at getting a snooker here. 59 remain on the table. I say it's only one snooker. Not all out of the
One.
the red yet. Get a thin hit on that. Try and avoid him getting the snooker, basically.
He's got the cue ball in a great position. Frame comes
And he's conceded.
frame near Robertson.
Well, there you go. Because he got that 1 point, of course, didn't follow it with a colour. Seems a bit stupid, but that's how the AI work. And, yeah, with a break, I think, of 62,
This is really close. With neither
we
player being able to break free.
bring the result back to 1 each, which is great.
Third frame, Neil Robertson.
This third frame will be a huge one. Determines whether we'll have to play in a decider or not to win this match. If Graham Dott goes 2-1 up, of course. That's a great start. That's not quite a snooker, but it is on that one that's hanging out a little bit. Let's have a look what our opportunities are now. And again, Graham Dott opening a few doors, certainly.
He's tempted by this red.
Let's have a look if this works out. It does, and that's the first pot of the frame. And actually, by that cue ball touching with the blue, it just allows us to get a little bit more control on the cue ball, a little bit more confirmation, I'd say, that we can get another pot, purely because there's one red that's hanging out. But it just allows us not to worry about the blue spot, how that's going to affect the cue ball. And as you say, there's one red there. Play this nice and soft, get on the black, and fingers crossed, try and open up the reds. A little bit overdone there, which makes our progress a little bit halted. This isn't going to open up the reds though, is it? That's the problem. It'll just bounce off the cushion and go. So we might as well just play this soft. Make sure we get the pot. And then just play it into the reds. I think there's some gardening going on out there, so apologies if you hear a few hoses, etc. But I have to have the window open, it's
Neil
boiling.
Robertson, 13.
Just plays it and touching ball. So we'll just get this up to the cushion. Bit hard, but oh well. So we'll start at 13 here. That's a fairly comfortable start. Oh, that's opened up a little bit thicker than I'd expect. Works out there for DOTT. Just play this very thin. Up and down the table job. Be ideal if it goes behind a bulk colour. Doesn't quite. In the middle of two actually makes a little triangle. In fact, a pretty perfect triangle. I know my angles work isn't the best with a protractor or anything, but that is fairly decent. And as he potted the cue ball again, very close to. Is that a potential? It is. And you know we like to take on half chances. Is it going to work? You bet it does. Could have got two for the price of one there. The black's been moved, which is a little bit of a godsend, really. We wouldn't have been able to pot it from there, but there's a half chance to pot it here, and I think that might be worth going for. Although, really, positionally, that's not going to be the best shot. I mean, none of these balls are going to be the best shot positionally, but...
This is tough.
Let's have a look at this green. If we don't play it too hard, it should be fairly close to the cushion. Well, it's not. We've actually snookered ourselves on that one red. That's a little bit of a shame. I think. Yeah, we have. Let's have a look, though. Can use some side spin and potentially get out of that. Oh, that's a chance. I like the look of that. Got to get this right, though. We have to get this right. Little bit soft, but it's in anyway.
Not the shot he was aiming for there.
Not the shot we were aiming for, no, but we got the red. We'll go for the black. We can just touch the black, I think, here. That provides a decent safety. Yep, no problems there.
Neil Robertson, 5.
Again, they've all been scrappy frames so far, really. Don't mind a scrappy frame. That's the only red we can get to. We're going to have to play that fairly thin. A little bit of an angle. And that's too hard, I would say. Might get away with it, though, because where the blue is. But that one we have released is right on the cushion, so you've got to be fairly brave to take a pot on that.
Excellent safety shot. He's attempting to get the white tight on the cushion.
And he might have been snookered on that one anyway, to be fair, with the green. We haven't been snookered, though. That's a stinker from DOTT.
He's attempting to sink this into the...
And we'll take the opportunity quite happily here. Although that's a little bit close to the centre pocket.
Shot.
Wants to screw back for the black, it's all.
Just wants to sink this into the left corner.
Nice and soft, give ourselves every chance of being on a red.
Beautifully done.
See where the black's going to end up.
Really good.
8.
That'll go fine. Get it fairly close to the cushion, maybe open up the blue. Oh, that was close, that might not have gone in, blimey.
9.
Didn't realise the blue was all the way up there, that's a bit of a pain.
This is really tricky.
But it's there. That's not the best positional shot, really not. Ooh, well, okay. Interesting. Just got to make sure it doesn't hit the red as well, the one on the cushion. No, it hasn't, and that's going fairly nicely up the table, but a little bit close to the pocket. Any harder, that would have gone straight in.
Neil Robertson, 40.
We'll take that. We're just going bit by bit here, not the natural way, but a 32-point lead, and that's going to be more of a lead. Again, we don't seem to be getting the most natural of opportunities, but we'll take them.
He's aiming for the left corner here. Well,
What's the screw back like? Does it open up the black? No, I think the red blocks that from going in, unfortunately, or else it would have been a nice shot. Might be wrong. Oh no, there is a space there for the black. So we'll take that on. Maximum points, of course. Has it got the legs? Has it got the legs? Yes, it's there. Well, this is a bit of a nasty one now. I didn't realise quite how tight this would be. Oh dear. Shot to nothing time. It was very much a shot to nothing. Didn't go in. This would be great if it pulled up behind the brown. It's pulled up behind the green. It's took the obvious pot off the table. But does leave 1 or 2 for Graham Dott. Can he make a break out of this? I'd suggest not, but you never know. It's a very bizarre frame. I mean, a very bizarre match, in all truth. Neither player really getting into any rhythm. But through little chances, little pots here and there, we've managed to get a 40-point lead, which Graham Dott, no, cannot break into. Well, that was a poor pot from there. Poor chance, really, from Graham. Give this a go. Oh, we've missed it as well. But all I'll say is, oh, that's too close. No, that's going to... That's a shame, real shame. That's opened that up to the middle pocket. Or else we'd have been safe there. Or even, well, he's gone for that. It's not the real pot I would have gone for. I mean, based on how he's playing, I don't see him getting a massive score here. Again, I might be wrong. It might be a frame-winning score. But let's see how he gets on. There's still 7 reds left. So, still plenty of score and still plenty of leeway for this frame to go either way. But by how close these are to the cushion, that gives me a little bit of encouragement that he's going to struggle. But he'll get the one that's free from the pink. And below the pink, that is. The one that he's closest to on the right now, he'll get those fine. It'll be the 2 on the pink that'll be the struggle, and possibly the ones on the cushion if he doesn't position himself correctly. There is a way out on that, obviously. You just get some backspin on the cushion in between the 2 reds, knock the one in, and that doesn't and then that frees up the other one. But bear in mind, Graham Dott is still 29 points behind before he can even register any sort of a lead, so still plenty of time for him to make a mistake.
This looks relatively easy.
19.
Yep, he'll clean that one up. Good pot.
20.
Power. Now what's he going to play here? No, he opens up those red. That's a very good shot.
Nicely positioned for the red.
Very good.
26.
I don't see any opposition for him winning the frame now, unless he makes a really silly mistake. So it'll be 2-1 Dotty, will it? Well.
28.
Hadn't done anything before in this frame, and we just took too many opportunistic shots on, to be quite honest. Safety's always an option. I need to start learning that a little bit more. It's what lets us down sometimes. And Graham Dott's finally got the lead in the frame, but that is going to be it for Graham Dott's break unless he plays a double. Well, that's disappointing from Graham, really is. Because that gives us a huge chance on that red. Bear in mind the score's very close, so if one player starts to dominate here, it's going to be their frame. Right. Need to focus now. Make sure we get this, take this opportunity and win the frame. So. Play some right hand side. Get it fairly close to the cushion.
The long pot's on, and he's going for it.
Perfect. Good pot.
A great
It's
demonstration.
not quite got the legs on position, but that would still probably work out. To give it a look before we judge that. I mean, I'm fairly confident that's going to go. Play it soft, that's all we can do. This is the crucial shot, I'd argue, for the frame. And it's dropped. Great.
What a top shot that is.
Great stuff. Now, I'm not going to play the black here because that's just going to limit our position, I would say. Now, what do we play here? Positionally. Let's play that sort of shot, aren't we? Hopefully this pot goes right. A little bit hard, but it's there. Got away with that.
That's okay, I think. Not ideal, though.
That's gone a bit too far. Well, that isn't perfect, is it? It's really not. Try and play this as thin as possible without hitting the brown and get it down the table. Would be my strategy. I mean, that would have gone in. Is it going to go in? Is it going to go? Wow. That was really not the strategy at all. But sometimes you just get a little bit of luck.
Not an easy one.
Lovely.
A hard
Brilliant.
chance.
And then you go and miss a green like that. What a prat. Oh, dear. A shot that on any other day I'd have sunk that.
14.
Well, a little bit of luck. This isn't going to be so much luck, is it? He's got the snooker, I think. No, he hasn't quite. Have to play this one out for the best. That opens up that pot. Wow. Well, oh, this has gone so many ways, this frame.
He's aiming for the left corner here.
But I think it's going to be Graham's. But he's playing a safety on the brown. Okay.
Dot 3.
Okay, Graham, is this the way you want to play it? Interesting. Now, the biggest chance we've got of getting a snooker here is to move the brown slightly and get this down the table again. That's not going to happen, though, this time. It's fairly straight on with the brown, which just means that Graham DOTT can't quite do a lot with this. I mean, we're already 36 minutes in here. We're only on the third frame. He's played that quite thick, though. Is that going to be to his detriment? Yes, I'd suggest it is. But let's just be careful. We've played plenty of these across the cushion. They haven't worked. So nice and soft. And it's there. Great.
4.
And then we don't need to worry about any silly shot on the blue in terms of side spin or anything. Just a straight pot. And that will secure a lead for us. Quite the topsy-turvy frame there. Really was.
He shuts out his opponent in this frame.
Well, we've missed the pink by a mile, but it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter there. I mean, he can go for this by all means, but we have won the frame unless he wants to start trying to get the snooker, which he is trying to do. I mean, fair play to him. It's always worth a chance.
Tough shot coming up.
Well, we've missed that as well. Goodness me. We're a little bit off with our long pots today. But it didn't really matter too much. He'll only do so much more playing about. Oh, well. That's a good snooker.
He just wants to avoid the foul here. That'll keep his opponent leading snookers.
He avoided the foul. A few percent harder, we'd probably got the pot. Just dilly-dallying a bit too much now. He's taking the focus off the game, but I don't blame Graham DOTT for doing this. Still gives him a chance to win the frame.
To get out of.
Oh, you git. I knew he'd do that. Well. We'd get penalised here. Well, we're going to have to try and get out of it.
A foul here, and his opponent will be right back in it.
Where's the cue ball? I mean, that is probably the best snooker I've got myself out of ever. Never done that well. You can try and play a double here. So can we. But this just seems a pointless exercise now. I mean, we got out of that snooker pretty well. One in a million, really, for us to get out of a snooker at all.
It's not worked out quite as he intended it to.
Wow.
He really doesn't want to let his opponent back into the frame with a foul here.
Oh, we've missed it. Oh, that's DOTT's frame. That's the frame gone. Oh.
Not the best shot, although it was a very testing position he found
God's
himself.
sake. He'll win this by 2 points.
6.
Oh. Oh, no he won't. Hang on.
6.
Hang on. Get that Virgo reference in. He's mucked up on the black. Shots are nothing.
That's an excellent safety.
Oh, no, no. Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Missed it. That
You
looked
tool. Why? Why? God's sake. Why didn't I just play a safety on it? But he's played a safety, or it's a double. One of the two. Right, we've got to pot this now.
this pot for the frame.
Come on. Drop, drop, drop. Yes! Oh my god. I need a pacemaker now.
Frame near Robertson.
2-1 Robertson.
The frame.
So,
Jesus.
he's opened up a one-frame
What a match this has been, eh? Scrappy, scrappy, scrappy. And now Graham DOTT is the one who needs to fight back to avoid a loss. Great match though this has been. I'm already 3 frames in, there still can be plenty of snooker left.
Graham DOTT to break.
That's an easy starter, if ever there was one.
That's an extra.
Saying that, we could have missed that very easily and looked like a complete prat.
1.
Right. Let's take the blue one.
This will need good cueing.
Nice and powerful.
That hasn't really worked out at all.
No, it didn't open up any reds, but at least it gives us a platform to play a good safety. Oh, that's one red's gone out a little bit. We had a little bit of luck. We haven't got it. Well, a little bit unlucky there for that red to escape from the pack. Careless, I suppose you could say, as well. But a very just a crazy match. Really cagey as well. Apart from that one break we had. And yes, the one break that Graham DOTT had courtesy of us making a big mistake. Yeah, it's been pretty cagey. And he's missed that red. Well, that's disappointing. Shows me that he's a player out of confidence, I'd argue. Graham.
Looking to play this with a lot of power.
But that was a confident shot to take on. And at least the pot worked. But this next shot is now crucial. Because we've mucked up, really. We've got to take on this pot, I would argue. It looks fairly good to me. Looks good, looks good. Is it going to bounce? Yes, great pot.
Unbelievable.
That next shot was huge. We got the position in the reds, and as I said, that next shot would have been absolutely huge, and it was.
Lots of power on this shot.
Excellent.
Try and open up again, as we have.
Impressive cueing.
And we'll get 2 for the price of 1 there. Lovely.
9.
Is this the winning frame?
Will you please make sure your phones are on silent?
Yes, put your phone on silent. God. Nice black there.
Nicely
If we missed that, of course, I'd have just blamed it on the phone. Very easy to do that. Let's have a look what the... I mean, they're just blocking each other, it looks like, from this side. We could play this red. It's fairly straight. The pot's easy enough, but I'm just having a look what the potting angles are on these colours. I mean, they just block each other, don't they? Which is a little bit of a shame. So you have to get Fairmate to screw back and get on the blue. That's our only option, unless we want to fancy a bulk colour, which, no, I don't really fancy that.
Not what he intended.
What? How did we miss that? How on earth did we miss that? That's embarrassing. Jesus, that was a straight pot.
Robertson.
I'm baffled. Jesus. I mean, we've missed some pretty poor pots today, to be honest. No, that won't go because the red's in front of it, so we might take this one on the cushion on. Again, only opens up the one on the cushion if we miss it. But opened up a lot more if we'd have potted it, but we didn't.
You needed some luck there, and
We've not played our best today, I'll be completely honest and open about that. We've tried way too many opportunistic shots. Need to start playing a safety a lot more and getting it right. But he's missed the green.
Graham
Deary
DOTT.
me, this is a calamity from 2 former world champions, by the way. Not the best quality. But sometimes that leads to a really exciting match. Oh, nearly potted the cue ball again there. Now I know this is... Well, it's not going to go, is it? No, I'm glad I checked that. So it has to be a safety here. Haven't really got much choice.
well,
Oh!
that's just outstanding. Superb.
Goodness me! I saw that was fairly close to the cushion. I thought, oh, I wonder how far that's off the pot, but we got it. Well,
1.
we've tried some fairly opportune pots, but that is just another level of luck, would you call it? I certainly would.
No doubt.
It's a good blue.
A bit
Now, I should have
casual
checked if this red went, but I'm sure it does.
6.
Yep. Oh, no, does it? Does it? Does it? Oh! Can we just squeeze it through? Will it go? I'm going to try it. Yes, it does.
Wow.
No problem with the harm of trying, eh?
7.
So the black and the pink won't go. So blue we have to consult. That was a crucial shot, that was, really. If we'd have missed that, that could have been nasty in terms of repercussions. But because of the pinks there,
He's an expert
the
long
reds
crosser
within the
and
pack
he's taking
are
his
opened up a little bit nicer.
Tremendous shot.
12.
So this is our chance now. We've got a good lead in this frame. Open up the reds really now. That's decent, that'll do. Moves the black as well. And try and get a frame winning break. And of course that would therefore entail a match winning break. I'd say it's not been the best match in terms of quality. I think it's been entertaining so far. I mean, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. It's not all over yet.
Excellent shot.
We've just got the advantage,
Simply wonderful.
which, as you've seen in many games in this series, can be evaporated very quickly. This is good. I'm only worried about the next shot.
19.
Because where do we go from there? Actually, though, these reds... I think these reds are... Yeah, they're not touching, so... Can get away with that. As long as we pot this. A little bit of a trickier angle to get to.
Right corner.
I mean, that's nowhere... What was that? What was that? Jesus. No, I'm not... I haven't played this game for a few days, but that's no excuse. Some of the pots we've tried today have just been stupid. Position's great. Of course, leads to good position for DOTT, but the only saving grace is that after this red, the opportunity so it might have to be a safety from Graham. Well,
13.
he opened those up well. Goodness me.
Half a chance, but a chance nonetheless.
That's a good red.
14.
Well, can he get back into this at 2 each? He should have really, by rights, won the last frame.
18.
Just over screwed on that black. 3 reds left. The gap's 22. Again, we really need to sort ourselves out for the last 16 if we can get there. Might be another twist in the tail yet with a final frame decider.
19. 24.
Yep, that's going to be the end of the break. Unless he gets a cannon and gets very lucky.
Graham DOTT. 24.
So a shot to nothing this is.
This really is.
I know I've tried lots of opportune shots so far, but I think this is justified.
No.
Nope, not quite there.
This time.
Okay. Luckily black blocks red, and I think the red's blocked. The other red here is blocked by the blue. Or is it? No, it's not. Is he going to go for the pot? He's at that slowly, which means it's a good chance, and he's got it.
Great shot.
He's got the blue. This will be the red, so it will come down to the colours. Good shot. Blue, so he's 4 behind, 27 remaining.
Just
Bit of an unorthodox way to clear the colours here, because now he's got to get on the cushion for the green, and if he hit that any harder, it would have been a slam dunk foul. Is he going to get the green there? That looks good to me. Yeah, it's a good
That was
pot.
made more difficult
Looks like he's going to force the final frame decider here, is Graham DOTT.
17. 21.
Which really for the last 32 isn't good enough, but Graham DOTT's a great player.
24.
Former world champ, and with this pink, we go down to a 5th frame.
39.
So with a break of 39, he eclipses our score of 41 for the frame. We've not been good enough so far, but there is still time to try and turn that round. Produce a good break, a good frame, just to say, well, we don't play well for the most part, but at least in the last frame, where it mattered, we played our best. Very soft there. It's always tense a final frame decider. I don't think there's anybody who gets a good kick out of a final frame decider. I certainly don't. I hate them.
Nicely played.
And when I can, I avoid them. But in 3 of the 4 last matches I've broadcasted on here now, we've had final frame deciders. And, well, we don't want to get all gloomy, but the record is that 2 of them so far haven't gone my way. Good snooker, though, that was, and that's a real opportunity. Wow. Yeah, it was a good snooker, and he didn't really get out of it with any ease. We've got to make sure we don't miss any silly pots. Have to get this right now.
1.
And what an opportunity Graham Dott's given. That doesn't quite go, so... No, we can get that red to the middle, I'd say, fairly confidently. This is cagey snooker. I like this sort of snooker. Just having to play the balls very calm and get it right, really, ultimately. That pink's not going to be the best shot to play here. You don't want to get too far away, that's my worry.
This is no gimme.
No, we can't play that blue, that'd be silly. Well, I think we're going to have to play the yellow.
Well, he used to be indecisive, but now he's not.
Shut up. Bloody Hendon. That's not great. That's not great.
11.
That won't go, so it's going to have to be this one along the cushion. Crucial shot.
Challenging pot along the cushion here. No, not quite. Pretty close though.
We had to go for that though. That was one we just had to go for.
Neil Robertson, 11.
I hate these final frame deciders. We're going to have another one go against us.
Nicely onto the black.
1.
Well, he's played the blue though, I didn't really expect that.
He's looking to pop this into the right corner.
Don't have to say it, but Graham Dott needs a mistake now. One that he can very easily make with how tight all these reds are.
He's aiming to sink this into the right corner.
That yellow's... Oh, he's gone for the green. I don't know why he thought he'd gone for the yellow. That was just the camera angle, I think. Still plenty of reds left. Still plenty of balls to play for.
Fancies this red.
Not the red I'd have chosen, but
Down
fair
it
enough.
goes.
11.
Oh, my heart is beating like a drum.
18.
He's playing for the right.
And it's only the last
corner.
32, but I said this season would be different, didn't I?
Brimming with confidence and on a bit of
Really,
a
if we lose here,
19.
it's not going to be any different to what we've done previously. It might be time,
Gently does it.
especially with the bigger tournaments, which I said I was going to do anyway, to play a longer flat frame format. I think that just gives me a bit more time to get into the match.
34.
Get some momentum going, but that's going to be a tricky pot. So it's a safety for Graham.
Graham Dott, 34.
And what a clanger that is. What a clanger. If ever there was one, that's a shocker.
Well, it goes. Half a chance here. Unbelievable pot.
I wouldn't quite say unbelievable, but yeah, good pot.
1.
Ooh, okay. That's a stinker. Now that safety thing I was mentioning,
Aiming for the right
might be the
centre
time for it, but I think we can play a opportune safety anyway. Well, that's disappointing. And there's a red up ball card. Just... Ugh! I've made so many stupid decisions in this episode. Without looking, ill-informed really. Again, saving grace. Only one red open at the moment. But that can soon change.
1. 7. 8.
Hopefully he plays the yellow here and just be really stupid. Yeah. That's going to be it for his break. So hopefully he plays a bad safety and lets us back in. That's the only way we're going to get into this now. And that... Let's have a look where it ends up first off.
Graham Dott, 10.
Not the worst safety in the world. But we can use some side here. Again, this has to go right. This is crucial. Too hard. Too hard. And we don't get... Oh, we do. We get away with it. That is unbelievable. How do you get away with that? Just too hard on the side. That's gone off the jaw. Now he gets away with it. Jesus. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. What a match. What a match. That's not the best either. That's gone too far. You can have a look at this red to the middle. But he's not. He's going for the safety. Which I don't blame him for. And that black's just covering that pocket now. That's the problem, I'd say. Certainly is for the playing player, but not for the facer.
This is an intriguing safety battle.
Open those reds up just a little bit more. We were forced to, really, there. If he's going to take anything on here, which he can, it's going to have to be a long pot.
Well played. Good safety there.
He's going to get out, got to get it past the black first off, which is the problem here. The black's blocking everything. Black proving a real stinger, but that isn't blocked by the black.
No more than half a chance here.
Come on. Yes. Right. Now, let's not make one more mistake. We can't. We've made too many stupid mistakes here. We've got the chance now. Let's wrap this up. And send Graham Dott back home. We have to. It's a golden opportunity, this is. 4 reds. A table that we've cleared up many times before. Got to do it here to get in the last 16 of the Porter Classic. Undeserved, perhaps. I mean, Graham Dott's not been the best either. But ultimately, the only thing that I care about is what the score is at the end of the match. And at the moment, it looks like it's going to be 3-2 to somebody. Don't need a genius to point that one out. But at the moment, it looks like it's going to be 3-2 our way. But don't switch off just yet. The drama isn't all over. We could miss very easily. I don't want to. I want to keep up this all positive talk. But we could have a miss very easily here.
Long pot, right up his street.
Good pot. Get that red to middle gone. And then we're just faced with one more red.
Looking to drop this in gently.
Well, he's lost the cue ball a touch.
How do you figure out he's lost the cue ball? That's what winds me up about Folds. He does come up with some rubbish sometimes.
Well played.
Oh, he's lost the cue ball. Right. Okay. So this red and a colour brown or more puts in the driving seat. But we're going to play the yellow here just to get position back on it for the next shot. Play the safe option.
Would you believe it?
What do you mean, would you believe it? I don't get what they're getting at, would you believe it?
Just the colours to go.
They get really nervous when they say something like that, because it's something I hadn't picked up on yet, but no, there's no problem there. But that will put us in the lead. 6 balls left. I can't think what Graham Dott looks like there. I'm sure he looks like a game character, like a villain, but I can't think who or what kind of it is. The creature, I suppose. It's an awful thing to say, but yeah. But breaker 36. Get this brown. Yes, that's dropped. It's going to be a long blue, but we've played plenty of these. 8 ahead. This puts us 13 ahead. Means that. Graham Dott would have to force a respot at the black to stay in this, but this is as straight as a die. The straightest pink you would ever see. And with this pink, as I said, irrespective of whether we deserve it or not, we get through to the, well, I was going to say the final round, but steady up. The final 16, the last 16 of the Porter Classic. A breaker 31, potting this black. It won't matter, but it leads to a breaker 58. And with that, I said no more mistakes. And we didn't make a mistake. A break of 58 means that we've the final frame we secure, and on the hour mark of my recording exactly, the match ends. A highest break of 99, of course, from Graham DOTT. As you can see, Graham DOTT scored slightly more points, but the only stat that matters is the fact that we got to 3 frames first, and we are in the last 16 of the Pawns Classic. What a match that was. So exciting. And if it's Bing Tao next, I'm going to cry. Can't be Bing Tao again. This is the problem. We need tournament trees because you're sitting here waiting for who you're going to play, which if you had a tournament tree, you know exactly who you're playing next. Wow. That is a tough match. Again, a very tough match. In the 4th round of the Pawns Classic. We've played him plenty of times, and to be fair, on most occasions, got the better of him. Which leads to a good omen here. In the last 16, we are playing against the Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins, in this Pawns Classic, which will come up on Saturday's episode. Thank you very much for watching, folks. I'm really looking forward to that match. A real test, our biggest test by far of this season so far, playing against John Higgins in the next match. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back on Saturday for that match. Make sure to check out the rest of the content on the channel. If you're watching this tonight, you've got 3 more days to look at the content on the channel before there's another episode out. But check out the end screen elements. If you're watching this a little bit later, there'll already be a link to the next video in terms of you watching this Saturday onwards. But thank you very much for your company today, folks. I've been TIJ Gamer. Until the next time, I will see you all later on. Goodbye for now.